r/ask Reddit. What discontinued thing do you really want brought back? Everything not being a subscription. I'd love to buy something and own it, not pay every damn month to use stuff in my own house. At this point, I don't even know how to buy digital music anymore. Not even kidding. Edit. I don't own any Apple devices, and when I did have iTunes years ago on my Windows computer, I lost around $400 worth of music, and iTunes support said there was nothing they could do to help me recover it. I tried the Amazon app on my Android phone, not Amazon Music, but when I go to purchase a song it tells me that it's not available for purchase on my device. My Windows laptop isn't great, and my Pixel book literally just broke a few days ago. The screen just decided to stop working. However, I am looking into the alternatives that everyone suggested, and those suggestions are very much appreciated. There's a website called Bandcamp that a lot of artists use to sell their music. You actually pay a flat price and can download it directly from there. Getting a poster that is a map of the game world with the purchase of a game. Red Dead Redemption 2 and Cyberpunk 2077 still did this. An almost adless internet. Also, one that isn't more and more AI optimized SEO crap. It's a problem that Google is now so big it is starting to shape the internet rather than just index it. Edit. Poor wording. I'm aware it's been going on for years now. It just seems like in the last few it has become especially egregious. Google is basically useless for me at this point. It seems like no matter what I search, the results are always just ads, AI-generated SEO clickbait sites, and random stuff that isn't actually related to what I asked for. When you would win a free Coke from the plastic bottle cap, those were the best. Or the McDonald's Monopoly game when you could win free fries or something. Now they want you to enter a code on their website or scan a QR code and get points for whatever. And the points can only be used to buy your choice of 3 styles of authentic bamboo frisbees for dolphins with throat cancer. The real dollar menu at Mickey D's. I miss the snack wraps. $12 plus for a regular meal at Taco Bell. Duck that. Products that were meant to last and not broken or obsolete in 1-2 years. I have my parents' original fridge that's about 40 years old. When dad upgraded I took it. Runs perfectly fine. He has to replace or repair his every 10 years. My mom, in her 50s, got a used fridge from an older couple back when she lived on her own before she met my dad that still runs to this day. We don't know exactly how old it is, but it predates my parents' 30-something years of marriage, plus however long that older couple had it for. It's older than me and now lives with my uncle since we got a new fridge and survived an accidental tap from my mom's car. This fridge was in the garage and my mom wasn't paying attention to how close she was. Besides a dent in the door which my dad fixed, the thing still ran no problems. They definitely don't make appliances like they used to. Old Cartoon Network. Courage the Cowardly Dog, Dexter's Lab, Ed, Edd n Eddy. And Powerpuff Girls. Toonami with DBZ and Gundam Wing. The dislike option on YouTube. Legit almost any old feature on YouTube. Yes, like the old recommendation algorithms. The new ones are trash. Remember when you used to be able to fill out that sheet of paper with how many books you read, and then when you reached a certain number of books you got a free personal pizza? I want that back. If you're talking about Bookit, that's still a thing. It's probably not a thing that a 40+ guy like me could participate in though. MTV, the one with the music videos. Edit. I started high school when MTV was launched. I, like a lot of us, grew up with it. We loved it. Remember, this is 1981, so adjust your understanding of tech at the time. MTV was huge. Younger people just have no idea how important MTV was. It was literally the only place you were going to hear shit that wasn't on the radio. In the 80s and early 90s, with no internet, you couldn't really experience new music that wasn't on the radio. And if you grew up in a small town you probably didn't have a cool radio station to listen to. 120 Minutes, Yo MTV Raps, Headbangers Ball, and a bunch of others. You literally would never hear the music they played unless you could buy tapes for random bands you had never heard of. MTV diversified the music tastes of millions of people and is sadly now remembered for random bullshit. People have wished for MTV to bring music videos back longer than MTV played music videos. Altoid sours. Loved those so much and still use the little tins to store random things. I would do unspeakable things for a fresh tin of those tangerine pieces of heaven. Small candy shop recreated these. They're extremely close to the real thing, https://www.pd. Net Products Tangerine Sours Secret Pre-Order. Paying once for work software, like Microsoft Word or Adobe PDF, and actually owning it thereafter without having to pay a monthly subscription fee. This was why I ditched all mainstream software and use open source stuff now. At least they don't require a blood sacrifice and VPN for a DRM to work right and log you in so you can enjoy a program that crashes every 5 seconds. Takes 10 to 50 gigs of space to install. Has a clunky user interface. Affordable housing. Or a living wage. I like the idea of affording to live in the same town you work in. Or at least living within 3 miles/5 kilometers of where you work. Edit. Of where you work, comma, not of where you live. New episodes of old cartoons. Regardless how old I will be, cartoons will still rock for me. I'm 62 years old and watch cartoons every day. I have for years and years. No shame here. Now that I have grandchildren, it makes cartoons even better. Borders bookstores. And Walden Books. I miss the hell out of Borders. Used to hang out with a chai and browse read. Found a lot of books I never would have bought otherwise. There's no way to replace that with online. At least Barnes & Noble is still here for the time being. Surprises in the cereal boxes. Not the enter 2 codes inside on our website bull. Actual, physical things in a package floating somewhere in that box of Cheerios. Man, you even had video games sometimes. I got Roller Coaster Tycoon. Cereal prizes were the best, before they got downgraded to just a sticker, and then to just a code. Old school Pizza Hut. RIP the salad bar with that amazing creamy Italian dressing and being able to get pictures of beer or Pepsi. Remember the retro arcade machines they used to have? Pure nostalgia. The Philadelphia cheesecake bars. I loved the strawberry ones. I can't remember if there were other flavors. This just triggered one of my earliest memories as a 5yo sharing a strawberry cheesecake bar with my childhood best friend. I remember it was such a treat since my family didn't really have sweets in the house. Then one day Aldi stopped selling them and we no longer had them. Now that I'm an adult I have to find these things. Please God, if someone knows where, let me know. Taco Bell's grilled stuffed burrito. Bring back the volcano menu, cowards. And also Baja style and Santa Fe style gorditas. And volcano tacos. Think geek, before messed up. I never did get the TMBG Nightlight, edit. Ordered one from the band's website. Thank you to all who let me know you can get them there. Woot, before Amazon. Pizza Hut had this dessert called Hershey's Dippers, which were basically just chocolate breadsticks with hot Hershey dipping sauce. I miss these every day of my life. Man, the dessert pizzas too. I can't tell you how much I miss a thin crust with apples and ribbons of icing. The cherry one was where it was at. The sober elixir drink. I miss my lizard juice so much. In my state it is impossible to find if they're still selling it. Love the white milky lizard drink. Strawberry daiquiri was my favorite. They are hard to find. Haven't seen them in a while. I also miss the orange one they used to have. The Incredible Crash Dummies toys and cartoon. Not too long ago, somebody made a reference to the toy car that crumpled when you wrecked it, and it felt like a region of my brain was unlocked. Memory unlocked. Had this car and the dummy whose limbs exploded when you press the button. I got it at Toys R Us with Jeffrey dollars that I won from school. Holy shit, that's an old statement. McDonald's snack wraps. I could eat like 4 in a single sitting. McDonald's steak, egg and cheese bagel. The way it felt in the 80s 90s when you were out with your friends playing Manhunt way past dark and your parents were cool with it, and you went home to play some NES or watch some movies with the whole fam after probably stopping at Blockbuster. Also the way Little Caesars pizza used to be back then. Dude, the long cardboard pizza tray wrapped in paper. When you'd tear it open, the Little Caesars goodness smell filled the room. Oh, the 90s. How I miss you. Butterfinger BBs. Wow duck, I didn't even know these were discontinued and now I am sad. Are Bunch of Crunch still around? Headphone jacks on cell phones. Apple empanadas from Taco Bell. I could basically just say most of the Taco Bell menu. Just make a double decker. You have all the things you need to make it. Please just make it. Me. Deep fried McDonald's apple pie. The one from the 1980s to 1990s. The one that was crispy and the temperature of molten plutonium inside. That shit was the best. You can still buy them in the UK. Burnt my mouth only a week ago. Bring back PB Crisps. PB Crisps was my first thought when I saw this question. Glad I'm not the only one. I may give Hormel a call tomorrow. Jello pudding pops. Without Cosby. Indoor roller skating. Or sometimes. Great shape. Fun friends. This is still a thing. At least where I live. The generally accepted principle that people kept their stupid political views to themselves. Man. Remember when it was generally agreed upon that Nazis were bad? Those were the days. That feeling of N64 3D graphics in video games after only having played 2D for years. I spent hours in the castle courtyard in Mario 64 just mesmerized. Such a crazy experience. My first experience with my Vive was kind of like that. The old style Ford Ranger. Last model year 2011. I can finally afford one. Just smaller pickups in general. The hell with these massive mid-sized beasts. Thank you. I'm still driving a 98 Dakota, and I think about getting a newer model truck from time to time. But then I see how big they are with a 4-feet bed and realize my smaller truck has a bigger and more convenient bed and keep her running. I wish Coke would stop fugging around with dream flavored cola and just bring Ecto Cooler back again. For good this time. Coke. Physical video game manuals or magazines. They were so ducking cool before and then they decided to just stop doing them. McDonald's fried apple pie. Fruitopia. If you ever hear of someone arrested for attempting to smuggle 90 pounds of Fruitopia pink lemonade out of Canada, you can say you knew me when. Jelly jar juice glasses. In the 1980s and maybe early 90s, my family acquired a few sets, dinosaurs, and Tom and Jerry. They were the perfect size for kids to use and the different designs helped us keep track of who's who's. Open bracket. Mine was the pterodactyl. I don't know why they stopped being made. Seems like Pokemon and Star Wars would be great co-branding opportunities. Edit. Apparently I'm not the only one. Let's start a letter writing campaign to Welch's. Being able to do something without my entire body needing a recharge day. Remember being a kid, tumbling all over the place and being fine 5 seconds later. Those cream lifesaver lollipops. Surge soda from the 90s. All day breakfast at McDonald's. Dibs. Those little bits of ice cream covered in chocolate. I crave them all the time. Pop-up video, but then we'd need music videos too. Being able to afford a home on a single income salary with no college education would be a really cool thing to come back. Toys R Us stores. Butterfinger. It isn't discontinued but I wish Ferrero would go back to the original Nestle recipe. It tastes like I dropped a Butterfinger in a pile of sawdust and let it sit there until it expired and then ate it. No similar product can really compare to the original Butterfinger. The original 3D Doritos. IDK if this counts, but traditional animation and 2000s animation. CGA is amazing, but something about traditional 2000s animation is, too. They should do both and not just CGA only. My childhood. Choco Tacos. Kodachrome. I grew up looking at photos my amateur photographer father took on the stock. When I got old enough to start taking pictures myself they discontinued it. Nothing catches colors quite the same way. Edit. Typo. Costco combo pizza. The chopped onion dispenser. Firefly, because you can't take the sky from me. Ecto Cooler. Not having to download an app for everything. The pool at my apartment complex is only accessible by scanning a QR code on a specific app just for the pool now. It's ridiculous. Those old Disney stores you'd find in the mall. Ah, the good old days. Calvin and Hobbes. Representative democracy. Norm Macdonald. Orville Redenbacher's microwave caramel corn. Lawn darts. It's really time to start thinning the herd. Roe v. Wade. Clothes. I hate fashion. I hate that stuff I like is no longer sold due to it not being fashionable. I used to have a pair of black suede shoes similar to deck shoes but with a fairly chunky sole. I wore them everywhere and loved them. I went to buy a replacement pair and couldn't find them. 16 years later and I still seek out a pair. These are the closest I've found but they are out of stock and were £200, so well above what I'd pay for a pair. I have worn the same style of shoes for 16 years but I'd happily ditch them for a reasonably priced pair of the shoes I used to have. It's got so annoying that when I find an item of clothing I like I buy more than one of them. I finally found some plain black, reasonably priced cotton jumpers last year so I bought 2 or 3. It's not fair having to traipse around physical shops and the internet for an item of clothing. Quaaludes. The 3DS. Cream Savers candy. That powder bubblegum in a jug. Corporate pensions for rank and file employees. Taco Bell shredded chicken burrito. Or Bitbuckule that didn't like it was boba before boba was cool. Getting on an airplane without taking my shoes off. iPods. Quiznos. I know there are some still but very few. Used to be much more common. Whoa, you made it to the end? You're a ducking beast. I'll cut you a deal. Smash like and subscribe for more curated content, bruh. It's free and that's a great price.